Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I am Wongel Zelalem, and I am here to welcome you to this live stream. It's Friday, right? Hopefully, you had a great week and hope you'll have a better weekend. So, what are we talking about today? We have an interesting topic. It's not something you hear every day, right? Um, Especially when it comes to wealth. Not a lot of young women will reject the advances of wealthy men just because of their race, especially, if they're Asian and they're quite literally friend zoning them. We don't hear that a lot. I thought it was an interesting topic for today. There's this young lady that we've talked about on this channel before, actually. She's a young lady, a very beautiful Black woman living in China. You can say she's immersed in the culture and she knows a lot about them. She speaks the language fluently, and I can just let her video play just a little bit for you to see her. Maybe you've seen her before. She is a well-known content creator as well. She goes live quite a lot. She has a huge audience that consists of not just Black people, not just Africans, but also Asians. She's very, very, I would say, creative, but also talented. She speaks, I forgot how many languages. Like, she's very, very smart, clearly. So this young lady just recently was covering her dating, what do you call it, like dating experiences, and she's never shared about her background, who she dates, who she doesn't date. She usually just talks about culture and everything else. And she live streams. So most of the interaction and her content is about like Chinese people approaching her and talking to her in their language, or assuming that she doesn't know the language. So they talk about her behind her back, and she talks to them or calls them out, or she educates them. That's the kind of content she does. This I think they're called IRL, like in real life. I think that's the what it stands for, in real life. They go live, they show their interaction, they show what they do and stuff. So this young lady, she goes by the name Baby Queen Fly online, and as I said, she has a huge presence online. Even on the Asian side, she's quite popular. And so she recently was documenting, like, there's this guy that approached her. He's Asian, obviously he's Chinese, but wealthy, really, really wealthy. And I believe she went out on a date or two with him, but she later on explained to our audience why she would never marry an Asian man. And this is a girl that is culturally immersed. You would say she has assimilated to the culture, to the people. Some people even accuse her of acting like a Chinese woman, basically. So she explains why she will never date or marry a Chinese man. This is why. Let her explain herself, and we'll talk a little bit about what she's saying, why I think it's very important to hear from this lady, because she's not being a hater. She's not trying to discourage others, or like, you can't say that, because she clearly loves the Chinese people. She lives with them. She like, most of her audience, or a lot of her audience, are Chinese. So you can never come here and say she's trying to be hateful. She's just sharing her experience. She just is being open and honest why she would never, at least long term, like, date or commit to an Asian man. Hear her out.
Black. Let's talk about dating in Asia as a Black woman, which is one of the specific reasons why I date friends on the CEO. For those who follow the tea, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I've been in Asia for 5 years, and I never dated any Asian man. Not because they're not attractive, But because I can speak the language fluently and I know too much about the culture. Now, I'm not saying that there are no exceptions, but it's just a little bit different. So one of the reasons why I did friends on him and I do friends on most of the Asian men that come to me, even though they have like genuine intentions, it's really because of the culture in general. Like, do not get me wrong. I love the Asian culture. I get along with the people. People are amazing. I have a Chinese mom. People are really nice to me. But when it comes to marriage or dating, it's a little bit different to me. So the culture is more about like very tiny body with pale skin. And I'm a dark skinned woman. I'm tall, I'm big, I'm thick. I'm a thick, dark skinned black woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I've talked about this before. I say, if he likes me, that's good, but I have to make myself like fight to get accepted by his family. I don't have time for that. I got too much going on. I got too much to fight for. I gotta survive. I don't come from a noble family. I came. So in a situation where his family is open-minded, which I doubt, because a wealthy Asian family will really not accept for their for die. I don't know how to say that in English no more. To marry a black girl. So I'm aware of that. So also a problem will come if we have kids. The Blasian kids, now I'm not Blasian, I need to get experience for Blasian kids, but if we ever have kids, I think the kids are also really going to have a hard time to make themselves accepted by the society. So I don't know how I feel about that, but because I speak the language and understand too much about the culture, it's a little bit
Oh my goodness, how I love that she spoke about this. And I love that it came from her versus, someone else. Because she, as I said, lives there. She is part of like their culture. When I say that, if you go through her social media, you would think like she's a Chinese woman in like a blackface. Honestly, that's how much she is so into their uh community and the people, and she loves it there. So we're not, it's not about that, right? We're not gonna talk about that, but what we're gonna talk about is a woman, a black woman, right, that has lived for years there, and is seen as, at least they treat her like, they treat her well from some of the friends that she's shown. Even the lady that she calls her mom, she's not her real mom, by the way. She just really treats her well. They spend time together. She takes care of her, and clearly, I mean, she feels like they're nice to her enough for her to, live there. And I believe she went for school though and then stayed or something like that. So you know uh, uh, she chose, or rather, she didn't choose, and she rejected the advances of a wealthy Chinese man. I believe she said he's a CEO, and she was documenting like the experiences she was having with him, like him taking her out, like treating her, blah blah blah. And then eventually, she said she friend zoned him, and she doesn't want anything to do. And she explains a little bit, like maybe she didn't go in depth, but what she said is enough, in my opinion, for us to have this conversation. So basically, the reason why she would never marry an Asian man, even though, as I said, her life is there and she has friends there, like she considers them family members. As I said, a lot of her audience are also Asian. She's making money and she's building her wealth by really tapping into their culture as well, right? So this girl is telling us, or telling the world, that she will never marry an Asian man because she knows for a fact her life is going to be hard, or at least harder than it needs to be if she commits long term. That means she has to deal with him, even if he's open minded. His family members probably won't be open minded, even if they're open minded. That means she has to work extra hard to fit in, trying to please them. And she knows the standard there. She knows what they like and what they don't like and what they say about us behind the scenes. So she's like, I'm not that. Why would I fight? Why would I exhaust myself and do the most to be accepted in a community that don't see me as worthy, as fit to be with their son? Like, why would I do that to myself? And most importantly, which I respect and admire, she said, why would I bring in kids? Like, the kids will suffer for sure. They will struggle. They will try to belong and then feel like they're lost. How many times have we talked about kids that come from like mixed background and they're crying because they don't feel accepted, especially from the other side? The black side usually accepts them. In fact, I think there's like uh I don't know, I don't want to call it, I don't want to call it what I want to call it, but there's this like admiration, right, for mixed kids. And so, but she has seen the other side, the flip side of things, because she's like an insider. Think of this young lady as an insider, okay? She's not the one that is speaking from outside telling us beware. She's like in the inside, in the no. And she would never do that to herself, even if it means she would financially, she would be secure and she will have everything she wanted financially. That's not enough for her. That's also a lady that has self-worth, in my opinion. So what I really admired about this conversation is she is thinking into the future. She's not being selfish. She's not just thinking about money and I'll be well off. And she cares about the quality of life she will have. And I mean, that's a woman with a standard. I mean, we can disagree, but that's what I believe. And so, like, especially the kids, this is a conversation maybe we'll talk about on Monday. There are so many cases of, I think they call them Blasians. There are some, of course, that are lucky enough to have good family members, or as she called it, open minded Chinese people that have accepted their Black significant other, what their kids brought, the in-laws. They've accepted it. They don't mistreat them. They treat them the same. But that's seems like that's the exception, fam. I don't think that's like the norm. So um she doesn't believe in that, and she will not marry an Asian man. I mean, kudos to her is all I'm gonna say, because why would you put yourself through that? If you know better, you do better. Some folks might get into relationships, might get into a long-term commitment, not really knowing or calculating what their kids will go through. Like, at the end of the day, your kids will suffer, is what I'm getting from this conversation. Of course, she didn't say it exactly like that, but that's what I gather from this conversation. And most people don't want to be honest about this. And I am surprised and pleased that she's honest about this, because this, as I said, she has a huge audience, Asian audience, and she's a big deal back there in the East. So, but there was a time where we talked about her. If you remember, I touched on that. Let me just show you her screen. There was a time where she's really loved by the Asian community, from what I can see, right? But there was, it's like sometimes it takes very little to remind us that they want to remind us that we're not one of them, even though she has so many followers and they always hype her up, tell her that they love her and all that. One day I remember she was live streaming, and this guy, Asian man, of course, approached her and started saying things. I'll just show you in a bit. Saying things to her which she defended herself. She was not even being like disrespectful. She just pushed back to his disrespect towards her. And guess what happened? They came at her. They came at her to the point where she had to make another video to defend herself. I just wanted to also remind you that. Let me just share my screen with you.
开灯的话，不开灯看不到人。
晚上不开灯看不到人，那你晚上不开灯能看见你
Can read the subtitle.
但是你对比来说，我们好看一点嘛。
对比来说，你们好看一点，谁骗你啊，师傅？
就关了灯，大家关了灯嘛。大家关了灯的话，你就黑了，黑跟黑就比较难找嘛，是吧？我们还是白的嘛，是不是？
你不是白人，师傅，你是黄的。
黄的嘛，那还是白的嘛。
不是师傅，你是黄的，你不是白的。
我们是黄种嘛。
对你不是白，你黄。
美国还有白种的嘛，是吧？
都有。
白了嘛。
师傅，你除了在中国还去过别的地方吗？
没有啊。
所以你得多旅游一下，多去外面世界看一看吧。因为你这种想法确实有点，怎么说呢，很莫名其妙。
没想法，没什么想法。
不是你这种说法有点有限。我不抽烟，抽烟对身体有
害的。
那你明明知道还会抽？
正常的啊，害不害也是几十年。
几十年。
人不是活了几十年嘛？
师傅，我不是骗你，我建议你多去旅游一下。
那有什么好旅游啊？不好玩。
那你不旅游，你对外面世界肯定
不需要了解那么多了，自己的国家都走不完。
那你不出国，肯定对别人的了解也不是很好呀，别人的文化呀。你看我一开口，你问我的所有问题都是奇奇怪的那种，因为你没有出过国。
道。
你得多去一点。我旅游了好几个国家，所以我每次被问这种问题，我都知道这个人可能没有去过。但不用没关系，在中国也挺好的。
我是故意的。
故意问的吗？
对啊。
那故意伤害别人有？
不是伤害。
可是我这个我觉得不是伤害，你没有伤害我，但是别人可能会觉得你是伤害他们。说看，就像我会中文对吧？我就了解中国人，我了解你们的文化，我知道这些问题可能只是好奇、单纯而已。
每个国家的肤色都不一样。
那你明明知道这个，那你为什么还要问我的？你还说你是故意问的。
As you saw, that man came. Listen to this.
So I'm getting bullied for disrespecting somebody that was first rude at me. This is how that man came at me.
Yeah, so that I wanted to just to remind you how they came at her that one time, right? Even though they were fans of hers, that one time she defended herself. What did she do? Like, in case the subtitles are too small for you, I'll just recap. She was minding her business, and this man came to her and started saying disrespectful things like, in the dark, can people really see you? You're a bit too dark, you're a bit too black. And she's like, can you be seen in the dark? Like, in the dark no one can be seen. And he started telling her, I'm white. She's like, nah, you're not white, you're yellow. So the reason why they turned on her and they started bombarding her with insults is because she said, no, you're not white, hold up, you're yellow. That was what caused the stir and why they were coming at her. And imagine this, in my opinion, she respectfully responded. She was not even being that disrespectful. Like, I don't know, we watched the same clip. She was even smiling at him. Like, who would respond to disrespect that gracefully? I thought she handled it well, right? And she also told him, I think you're uneducated and you're not well traveled, and it shows. If you've left your local area, your country, China, you would be more intelligent, basically. I mean, that's a respectful read, in my opinion, because he deserved it. But they came at her, they insulted her, she had to come back and defend herself and say, like, he was disrespectful towards me, I can't even defend myself. And that really also, at the time, I remember talking about this and saying, it shows you, like, they just want one little thing, like, to turn on you. And that's what they did back then. But I think now she's in good graces of people, and I think she's still very cool with most of them. But yeah, imagine someone they loved, they really really appreciated it, to the point that they follow, they support through their money, financially. She's, as I said, she's a well-known influencer, and if she can be honest about this, if she can tell us that, no, there's no way I'm gonna get mixed in with that and commit to an Asian man, I mean, what else? What else can we say? But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know. I read somewhere here in the chats, and I want to ask you if it's true or not, because I have no idea and I don't have the stats. Someone wrote, Black American women are more race loyal than Black American men. Is that true, or is Brian just saying that? Please let me know, because I'm not sure about the stats. I've never looked into it. But yeah, this girl for sure is race loyal. And I think I'm not mad at it. I mean, she stated the facts. She knows what she knows, and she doesn't want to do that to her children, to her future. She's not about that life. And I don't know. I don't think you could be mad at that. Hey, Elian, or Elaine, sorry. I didn't mean to call you Alien. Oh, let me see. It says that Lupo said somewhere in the Bible, it says women are loyal to no man or nation. Which verse is that, by the way, Lupo? I've never read that, but then again, the Bible is a huge book. Hello, Jobless. Greetings to all the Jamaicans out there that are watching this. Hi, Susan. Anthony said, I believe she also thought about her children and how difficult it would be for them. Yeah, and she also mentioned it in the video. I don't know if you've caught up with when I showed the clip, but you can just rewind and watch it. She talks about that too, because guess what? These kids, especially those that are being raised in China, maybe the ones that are being raised in the West, since Blasians are seen as like, I don't know, a beauty symbol or something like that, they might not face that to the extreme, but their in-laws, their grandparents, their uncles and aunties, of course, are from that culture, so they probably will face a lot of that, racism, discrimination, because they've told us. We're not making this up. This is an information that's out there for you to see, and it's very, very sad. Innocent children being mistreated just because they're a bit darker than them, and their hair is a bit different, but they're like, that's your cousin, that's your nephew, that's your niece, that's your grandchild. But then again, some folks you can never change their minds on, but then maybe what you can do, like this young lady decided to do, is preserve that, like decide based on the information that is available to you, right? But then again, some people are in love, and then, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just sharing what is out there, right? um um Hi, Brian. uh Vera Sanders said, I stick to my own and I love it. Same here, girl. um Eva said, it's similar to white males and black women. They and their children are in battle against their families, against their world, and God help them if they live in the United States of America. But I have a question for you, Eva. Why did you just say it's similar to white males and black women? How about black men and black men? No, I mean, yeah, black men and white women. Is there any difference in that? What do you mean? I'm curious, because what's the difference? Isn't still like a different culture or different races coming together? Yeah, love, I can't read what you wrote. um Boss said it only took that one time. Which time is that? Brian said this is exactly the reason the same version should be the outlook in America, the unethically biased culture and its mistreatment. Um, Lewis said, I wonder why people think because a person speaks multiple languages makes them some kind of God, and they hardly ever use those multiple languages. Lewis, okay, I don't think there's some kind of God. I agree with you. But it is so respectable. Have you tried? I don't know how many languages you speak, Lewis. It's so hard, especially when you try to learn at your old age or older. Like, it is I'm trying to learn more. Like, I'm stuck at two, because I'm just like, it's so hard at this age. But at a younger age, I believe, even science proves it, like we can consume many languages like very quickly, and it's very easy for them to save it. But like after maybe I don't know, 20 or 25, it's not easy. So I genuinely respect people that speak four, five, six. I think this young lady, if I'm not wrong, speaks more than three. I know she speaks French, she speaks English, she speaks her native language. I'm not sure what language that is, and then she speaks Chinese. I know you're not supposed to say Chinese. What's the name? What the Chinese speak, their language. So I do genuinely respect, and it makes me really admire people that speak multiple languages, because it's not easy. I have tried. I'm trying. God knows I'm trying, but it's not as easy. But of course, with commitment, maybe you can do three, four. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't know, man. I do respect them. Brian said, we all know about the partners who get unalived by their non homogeneous partners. Um, okay. Anthony said, in my opinion, when it comes to the topic about who's loyal or not, typically in relationships, men choose, I think you meant choose, right? Men choose, women are chosen. Women are okay. I mean that's a different debate, right? Men versus women, like who has more like I don't want to get into that topic, but in regards to race, of course, like at the end of the day, when you put yourself out there is when like you get the opportunities, the options. But if you're closed off to it, you reduce that pool. So if she's saying she's not gonna marry an Asian man or a Chinese man, obviously she's not even looking in that direction. Hence, the chances of her being picked, even if it's the man that picks, let's say, is gonna be slim to none. No. Um, Jay Carter said, no, Black American men have an 80% marrying rate to their own. What he said is propaganda. Okay. I mean, I haven't researched this, so I'm not, going to say that this stat is accurate. But Jay is saying, nope, it's not Black women that are loyal, like in percentage wise, to their race. It's more of Black American men, is what you're saying. Is that true? I don't know. Eva said, it has been my observation that Black American women come with many choices. Okay. Brian said, American culture is heavily disrupted against melanated people, especially the original melanated Americans, who they know deserve vengeance against their group. It's easy to continue to dislike European Americans. Um, whatever they no whatever this women or this woman choose, that's what they go with until they change their minds or their viewpoint. Okay, I read that already. Those pairing are socially more accepted. Black men, Chin said, Black men take white women to Black community where discrimination is less. Okay. Black men and white women are normally contemporary unless there's children involved. Boss Bradley said, for them to turn on that creator in China, I was following her when it happened. Oh, you saw it. Oh, goody. Good, good, good. I'm glad you saw, because I remember being shocked at this. I shouldn't have been shocked. I know. But then again, she's so loved, right? They treat her so well. Like, I mean, in the comment section. And also, she's one of the creators that, like, one of very few creators, when she posts something, you watch it and you're like, wait a minute. You're saying there are really nice people that treat Black people this nicely? Like, she portrays Chinese people in such a good light. So obviously they really liked her. But that one time she pushed back and said, stop being disrespectful, she was being dragged. I thought that was so, so bizarre. But then again, as I said, I shouldn't have been shocked. Um, Suzanne said, it's really hard to learn other languages. I get it, Suzanne. Exactly. Brian said the nature of people is tribal, to defend people more like yourself, which is true. Even if that makes you the same, is superficial and surface level. But people are tribal. It's. I don't know if it's. I feel like it is in our nature, but we really have to, I guess, try our best to try to be respectful, like the way you want to be treated, treat others, plain and simple. Bridget said, I believe there's a lack of social skills within the Asian community because the only thing they see when Black person, they see dollar signs. Do you think that's a social skill problem though? Seeing a dollar sign when they see a Black person? Bridget? I don't know. I don't know. Social skills? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. Eva said it's fun to learn other languages. Well, yes, it is fun. It's not easy. Maybe Eva, you're one of those special people that we mentioned earlier. So good for you, Eva. I respect you. But yeah, I just wish I learned more languages when I was younger, and that's just it. Um, Quintine said, "Oh, thank you, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it." It's like the default for the human psyche is whether or not you pass the brown paper bag test. Yeah, it's very sad, honestly. The conditioning is real. Um, Jay Carter said, "Yes, that is what I'm saying about black men. What is said about us and what is real are usually two different things." I mean, yeah, I would agree that there's a narrative that gets pushed quite a lot, and but it's up to you, Jay Carter, to also push back, right? We talk about this, the danger of like a single narrative, or the danger of someone else telling your story or lying on you. It's extremely important that you push back. And if that's the case, and what the number you gave me, if 80% is correct, Jay Carter, thank you for sharing that, and continue sharing that, because it might sound very like minuscule, this lie, but it's really not. It's going to affect how others, or even black women, how they feel about it when they hear it. So I think it's extremely important to call it out if it's a lie that is being told, right? um Eva said, I am an indigenous native in the US, and though I believe strongly that all races should stay with their own, but I was raised and educated by a foundational Black American family. That's nice. Bizarre indeed, said Yeah Love. Bizarre, bizarre. Okay. Um, Bose Bradley said her international fans had her back and she is still being a very positive person. Yes, one thing about her is she'll stay positive, and I think it helps her, honestly. In this world, sometimes you have to be a little bit delusional, or a little bit just like only see things in the way that you want to see them. Otherwise, people will tell you who you are, and then most likely that's not the truth. They will hurt or impact your self-esteem. It has happened to many of us. Anyways, fam, hi Elaine. uh Thank you, Barbara Davis. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, fam. Yeah, let us know down below what your thoughts are about what this young lady is saying. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Yeah, would love to hear from you. Hi, Reggie. Stay blessed. I'll see you soon. Bye.